So, I mean, you talked about the tattoos. Like, tattoos are popular right now in hip hop
Yeah,
on a level that you haven't seen
yeah,
before. But for you, tattoos mean something different.
yeah. For like basically like most of the people in my hood, tattoos mean the hood. Like that's all they got. I got homies that like I literally seen with no tattoos, and they got their hood. I mean, not their hood, the hood on them like 10 times, like different places, different letters from a C to the whole letter to blah blah blah. Just so everything was about the hood. Then after the hood comes the area, the city, everything to do with that. Some people went off and did a little bit out of the hood stuff, but everything that we grew up with my boys was all about basically hood stuff. As you see now, time has changed. Everybody's just doing tattoo for fashion. I mean, I don't got no hate for them. I mean, I got my tatted up. This was like a couple years ago. It's not even that, like, I didn't get it when I was young. So I'm the same thing. I just represent, local me's crazy. So I just had to say, I got to represent my homeboy. He did 8 years. He was supposed to tat me up back then, whatever. So my homeboy gangster, but then my other homie came out. I was like, you know what? I said to the homies, I'm gonna get tatted up, and I never did. So he tatted me up a couple years ago. So nowadays, everyone's just getting tatted up, and there's no hate to that. Let them do the thing. But homies from our hood, the 90s, everything was gang-related tattoos, or just the environment we grew up in.
When you have the tattoo tears also.
Yeah. I mean, that was just, you just 3 dots, my crazy life. It's just a music note too, so it's a tattoo tears / a music note. So crazy life, but hey, I'm doing the music crazy life too now.
So after your last prison stint, you decide that you want to do music.
Yeah, exactly. So county lid, I did my county lid, LA County Jail. I was in a cell, and the funny thing is, I mean, I said this story before to someone else before, I might have heard it, but I was in the cell. There was a guy next to the cell with me. He was talking about rap, and he was a Hispanic dude. He dealt stuff with Slow Pain or something back in the days. He's like, yeah, man, I've been on tour. And then when I heard him, it kind of like opened my eyes to like, damn, he's a homie and he's in the rap game. I was like, how good would that be if I became a rapper? That's something that I fucked around in the hood. I rap, but it wasn't like I took it serious. So when the time came, I was in that dark cell, talking to myself. When you get those little, moments, something came in my head like, if you get out of jail, if you see an opportunity of rap, take that direction, because that's gonna be your future. And if you get that, just remember, all the crazy shit you're doing now, fucking chill out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm talking to myself, and I was like, focus on that. Just as hard you focus on the gangster shit, focus on your music like that, and you're gonna make it. And I came out, ran to ODM, Lighter Shit of Brown, and
Right, yeah, because when you talk about like Sereno rappers before you,
yeah.
Lighter Shade of Brown, Lil Rob.
Yeah, I mean, Lighter Shit of Brown. They're. I won't say they're, because not everyone from Southern California is a gang member.
Okay.
But Lighter Shit of Brown definitely was an inspiration for the Latin hip hop community.
Yeah.
And basically, I grew up on Lighter Shit of Brown too. So Lighter Shit of Brown, there was Kid Frost, there was all these guys.
Kid Frost, right?
Yeah. There was these guys we were listening up to as growing up. So when I got out and I ran into Lighter Shade of Brown, ODM, that same jailhouse memory came into my mind, and I seen him. I was like, look, this is my opportunity. A lot of people never had a chance to speak on my level of the rap game, so I'm gonna speak on what I know, and hopefully, I'm pretty sure the community is gonna fuck with it, and sure enough, that's how it all started for me.
Okay. And were you called Mr. Capone back then or no?
I was called Capone. That was my neighborhood nickname for my hood, Capone.
Okay.
I changed my name to Mr. Capone because I'm thinking like, let me just change it a little. I don't know how I did that name, but I just said Mr. Capone. I mean, it's a story about how I did it, but it's nothing major.
Okay. So you start rapping,
Yeah.
and then did you sign with Thump Records right away, or did that come later?
So when I first started, I got an album. I did it all myself, I kicked up a lot of dust. I was selling records like crazy. I went through Ground Level. I don't know if you know who they are. They went through Southwest and stuff like that back then.
Okay, right.
So I put my shit through Ground Level, and they couldn't even stop. My CD was like selling out of control, and they're like, what the fuck? Like, it was just going. I was like at 10,000 sound scan in like a couple months. Start off with small order, and the reorders were just coming like every day. I would get calls. So I was kicking up so much dust that Universal was trying to figure out how to get a hold of me. So obviously Universal wouldn't do a deal with me direct. Like, I didn't know how to deal with motherfuckers like that. So Thump Records came in the picture. You know, we're the guys who do a lot of the Latin hip hop, this and this. We see what you're doing, come through us, and that's how I got the distribution through Universal, but it was through Thump Records.
And who was on Thump Records at the time? Who else?
Honestly, they didn't really have no artists, but they've done shit with everyone from, like, I even think they did it with Kid Frost, a lot of shit of Brown. They did a lot of oldies, old school, so they really marketed to the hoods and the neighborhoods, and they seen a rapper who was kicking up dust, and Bill Walker called me in that meeting, and, you know, it started off from there, you know?
Well, when you dropped your third album, dedicated to the oldies,
Yeah.
that's when things started to take off.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the first one took off, dedicated oldies came in, it was like going through Universals. It was the second album going through Universal. They were selling like crazy. They couldn't keep the stuff off stock, so it was just like a crazy pattern that was kicking up dust. So I was just riding the wave, and I mean, it was just moving from right there. So that, I could say, yeah, that song, that album literally, like to this day, no lie, over 1 million records sold, whether it's...
Over 1 million records
yeah,
sold.
Not saying just SoundScan, because our market was so different that people don't know. We created the discotecas, we created the swap meets. Every city had a swap meet. Every hood had discotecas, which hip-hop don't know about.
What's a discoteca?
Okay, it's where they sell a lot of Mexican music, you know, so if you got a guy like, say, there's a lot of Mexican music that you won't get the high SoundScan, right? They won't be like big sales because they don't have big stores, but they sell at the mom and pop shops. They're called discotecas. And we have the connection, the plugs with different homies from different areas. We would sell to all those discotecas, and they don't do SoundScan, none of that.
Okay.
So we were selling from LA to Atlanta to New York. Hispanic neighborhoods are everywhere, and people who were listening to our music was very deep, and we didn't get the SoundScan, so sales were going there, swap meets. Everyone knew about swap meets. It could have been from Compton swap meet to Fontana swap meet to San Bernardino to Riverside, LA, even Van Nuys, you know, Valley, 818, everywhere. It didn't matter where. Swap meets were everywhere back then.
So 1 million copies.
Yeah.
Somewhat independently. I mean, you had Universal, but still, you guys were doing most of the work independently.
Yeah, independently, yeah. I mean, because the ones before were doing those kind of numbers, but by Dedicated came out, that one just took off.
Okay. What changed after that album came out?
The changes, like I said, just start focusing on the music. You know, I like the gangster stuff was me. I mean, I'm never gonna forget about that. I'm never gonna forget who I am. But now I got something that I could actually achieve in. So as soon as that came in, that's when I started learning about being kind of a record label, which I wasn't a real record label, but all I did is sign other people that grew up like me from the hood and put them on.